Peace. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about an issue regarding manhood and men in our society. There's a lot of talk right now about the fact that men don't have friends. It's not that men don't have friends, it's that the relationships and the friendships men form, they're formally usually based on machismo, feeling dominant, feeling cool, feeling secure. They're not as intimate and vulnerable as the relationships that women often have, and that's the issue. It's that a lot of times men depend on the women in their lives as someone, as a shoulder to cry on, as someone to speak to, as someone to confide in, and it's great that people have that. But the issue I have with that kind of is that, you know, there is a reality to the male reality and to the female reality. And if we're always going to women for our advice, we're not necessarily ever getting to the root of our own stuff with each other. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we have to talk with each other more. We have to be able to be bold with each other more, because there is something to having your own perspective. You know, we have a unique perspective of our experience. I can go to my mother and talk to her about things, but she didn't give me the same advice that my father per se would give me about those same things. They're both valid. It's just that with my father, sometimes he understood aspects of it that were more that normalized the things I was going through in a way that didn't make me like really question myself. Whereas sometimes with my mother, there was things that if it was up to her, she would, you know, don't do the crazy things you're doing as a young boy. You know what I mean? Like be more careful, you know, be safer about certain stuff. Where my father's just like, well, it didn't kill you, you know, and I think there's something to that. But that's one side of it. You know, the other side of it is kind of like us getting really deep and checking each other, and speaking with each other about the things that challenge us emotionally, the things that challenge us in regards to our relationships, in regards to our sense of identity, how we see ourselves, how we show up for community, how we show up for family. You know, oftentimes there's this thing that we refer to as like a man code, and men won't check each other on certain things. You know what I mean? We really let each other slide on some BS, and I think it's time that we really kind of start holding each other accountable, because that's going to cause us to be held accountable to ourselves. You know, when we can get away with certain things with our boys and it's all good, we don't think as much about it, because there's at least somebody who's going to support you on your BS. You know what I mean? Or not even talk about it, just go overlook it. But, you know, our friends are ourselves. So within our friendships, I'm just challenging us to raise the bar in regards to, you know, accountability, in regards to having a code. Like, what do we agree upon? You know, what are the terms of our interactions? How do we apply that in the world? And how do we hold each other accountable to these things? You know, because ultimately, we know that the problems are problems because everybody complains about them. You know what I mean? The difference is, most of the time, people are complaining about the external aspect of it. You know, they'll complain about the annoying girlfriend and all the things she does, and then you'll get support on it. Like, yeah, I hate that too. I hate when that happens. But rarely does anyone explore the root in what we're doing to perpetuate those things. You know, so that's the aspect that's really important. It's accountability, you know, and taking responsibility and starting to look at the fact that we co-create all our experiences. And as men, you know, there is a fraternity amongst us that we do acknowledge amongst ourselves, and it's responsible for us to fix our stuff. Nobody else is going to do it but us. You know what I mean? And it takes us acknowledging what needs fixing. You know, and until we're willing to do that, we're just going to keep making messes and then hoping that the women in our life can help support us while we're a mess. And it's not really their responsibility, you know? So I'm just saying, like, you know, it's time for us to be more accountable, for us to just step up and take more responsibility and really self-examine and question a lot of the dysfunction that's become so normal to us. Peace.